Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive. I am absolutely buzzing for today's session.
Me too.
We have got something special, something that honestly feels a bit like a cheat code for life. And before we even get started, I have to give a massive, massive shout out.
Yes.
And a warm welcome to all the listeners joining us, specifically those who follow the incredible content over at the Englízí Easy Busy channel.
It is a fantastic resource. And you know, their motto really stuck with me while I was reviewing the material for today.
Oh, yeah.
It translates to English without complication, English without fatigue, which honestly is a philosophy we could apply to just about anything we learn.
English without complication. I love that.
Oh.
And to all our listeners, we want to welcome you specifically to this deep dive based on their work. We're genuinely thankful that you're tuning in to explore this with us. But here's the hook, and this is where it gets really interesting. While Englízí Easy Busy is a hub for learning English, the material we're unpacking today goes way beyond just vocabulary or grammar.
Way beyond.
We're talking about how to possess an iron memory.
That's right. And it's framed in such a powerful way in the source material. They don't present memory just as a simple study tip for passing a test or, remembering a grocery list.
Right.
They present it as a fundamental tool to raise your ambition. It's about guaranteeing success in achieving your dreams.
So it's bigger than just remembering facts.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
Whether you're learning a language, prepping for a board meeting, or just trying to navigate life with more confidence, these are universal principles.
It really is a universal toolkit. It's about being sharper, faster, and more reliable. So let's unpack this. We're looking at the psychology and the biology of how our brains actually hold on to things.
Right.
And the source starts by shattering a myth that I think I'm guilty of believing, the idea that memory is just a storage tank.
Oh, absolutely.
You just pour info in and it stays there.
Right. And that is the fundamental misunderstanding. We tend to think of the brain as a bucket or a hard drive. You fill it up, and if you can't remember something, you assume the bucket has a leak.
Yeah, that's exactly how I picture it.
But the source material explains that memory is actually an active process. It's not a place, it's a mechanism.
A mechanism.
And it consists of 3 very distinct stages. If you fail at any one of them, the whole system just collapses.
It's a chain reaction. Okay, let's walk through these stages because understanding the machine is the first step to fixing it.
Exactly.
Stage 1 is encoding, the entry. This sounds like we're entering data into a computer.
It does, but it's purely biological. Encoding is simply how information enters your brain in the first place. Think of it as the bouncer at the door of an exclusive club.
Okay.
Information is trying to get in, but your brain is standing there with a clipboard checking the guest list. And here's the scary part. The source calls this the most dangerous stage.
Dangerous? Why is it the most dangerous? Is it because it's hard to do?
It's dangerous because if encoding fails, the memory isn't forgotten.
Right.
It never existed. It's like trying to save a file on your computer but hitting cancel instead of save.
Oh, wow.
The document was never written to the hard drive. You can't retrieve what isn't there.
So all those times I thought I forgot someone's name 10 seconds after meeting them.
You didn't forget.
I didn't actually forget.
No, you never really heard it. Your brain has a filter. It is constantly asking 2 questions. Is this important? And does this deserve energy? We are bombarded with millions of bits of data every day. If you are distracted, if you're scrolling on your phone, or if you're reading something too quickly without pausing to think, your brain just rejects the recording.
It just says nope.
It looks at the info and says, nope, not worth the calorie burn.
That is wildly relatable. I think we all have that doorway effect where we walk into a room and forget why. simply because we weren't focused.
Exactly that.
So the blockers are distraction and lack of understanding. What's the fix? How do we force the brain to hit record? How do we bribe the bouncer?
You have to prove to your brain that the information matters. The source gives a few clear commands. Focus 100%. That means put the phone away.
Of course.
Multitasking is a myth. It disrupts encoding. Understand the meaning deeply. And this is key. Add emotion.
Emotion.
Surprise, a story, a vivid image. Emotion tells the brain, hey, pay attention. This is significant.
And like highlighting the text in neon yellow in your mind. Okay, so we've encoded the info. We got past the bouncer at the door.
Yep.
Now we're in stage 2.
Yep.
Storage. The residence. Where does this info actually go?
It lives in your neural networks. But here's the thing about storage. It's organic. It's not a filing cabinet. It's like a muscle or a web.
Okay.
The source explains that repetition, connection, and review are what make these networks stronger and deeper. Think of it like walking through a field of tall grass.
I love this analogy.
The first time you walk through, you leave a very faint trail. If you never walk it again, the grass grows back and the path disappears. But if you walk it every day, you trample the grass down, it becomes a dirt path, then a road, then a highway. That is what repetition does to your neurons.
And if you don't walk the path,
the grass grows back, the path disappears. That is the biological definition of forgetting.
Wow.
And there are physiological things that weaken the storage process too. Lack of sleep is a huge one, which we'll get to later. Also, psychological stress. Stress literally degrades the storage capacity. It's like pouring acid on that road you're trying to build.
That makes perfect sense. So we need to keep the path clear. Okay, so we have encoding and storage. And now for stage 3, which I feel is where everyone thinks they struggle, retrieval.
The recall.
Yes, the recall.
Yes, this is where we feel the frustration. It's on the tip of my tongue phenomenon. But the source offers a really important reality check here. Most people think they have a bad memory because they can't recall things instantly. The reality is they just haven't trained the retrieval mechanism.
It's a training issue, not a capacity issue.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
The brain operates on logic and efficiency. If you store a piece of information but then never ask for it, you never try to recall it, the brain assumes it's not urgent.
Just files it away somewhere deep.
It says, you haven't asked for this in 6 months, why should I keep it near the front? You have to train the brain to be quick by practicing retrieval.
That is a game changer.
Yeah.
It's not that the info is gone. The indexing system is just dusty.
Precisely.
So, knowing that biology, encoding, storage, retrieval, let's move to the practical stuff.
Yeah.
The source material outlines specific techniques for building an iron memory. And the first one is something they call the golden rule.
Yes. Understanding versus rote memorization.
I feel like every teacher I ever had tried to tell me this, but let's break down why it actually works scientifically. Why is rote memorization so bad?
Rote memorization, just repeating words until they stick, parrot fashion. It creates superficial storage.
Okay.
It's a very weak neural path, a single thread. Understanding, on the other hand, builds a network of meanings. When you truly understand a concept, you aren't just storing a sentence. You are hooking that concept onto 10 other things you already know.
The source used a physics example that I thought was brilliant. It contrasted memorizing the sentence, water boils at 100 degrees, versus actually understanding it.
Right. If you just memorize water boils at 100, that's fragile. If you forget the number, you're lost. You have no way to derive the answer.
We're stuck.
But if you understand the physics, that heat is energy, Energy makes molecules move faster.
I'm visualizing little water molecules dancing around.
Exactly. As they get hotter, they dance faster and faster. Eventually, they move so fast they break apart and turn into gas.
A gas, right?
That is a mental movie. You can visualize the molecules dancing and breaking free.
And the brain loves images.
The brain is obsessed with images. Understanding creates those images. Memorization just creates noise.
Which leads perfectly into technique number 2, association. The source calls the brain a linking machine.
Because the brain cannot remember isolated facts. It hates them.
It hates
It has to link the new to the old or the strange to the familiar.
There's a great example for English learners in the text. The word fragile.
Yes. So if you're trying to learn that fragile means brittle or delicate, don't just repeat the definition. Visualize.
Okay.
Imagine a piece of broken glass. Or picture a cardboard box stamped with a massive red fragile sticker being dropped.
And the secret sauce here, according to the notes, is that the weirder the better.
Absolutely. The source points out that if the link is strange, funny, or exaggerated, the memory becomes stronger.
So make it ridiculous.
Yes. If you imagine yourself dancing on a pile of glass shouting, fragile, you are never going to forget that word. Boredom kills memory. Novelty feeds it.
I'm going to start making my mental images much more chaotic from now on.
Okay.
Technique number 3. This one sounds like something out of a spy movie.
It does.
Or a Sherlock Holmes novel. The memory palace. The source calls this the weapon of geniuses.
It really is. And it's used by people who need to retain massive amounts of beta doctors, lawyers, competitive memory champions.
So how does it work? What's the logic behind it?
It taps into our evolutionary history. Our brains are incredibly good at spatial navigation. We remember physical places, where the food is, where the danger is, much better than abstract lists.
That makes sense.
The memory palace technique hacks this. You pick a place you know perfectly, like your own home.
Okay, I'm visualizing my apartment right now.
Now create a fixed path. First the front door, then the hallway, then the kitchen. If you have a list of things to remember, you place each item in a specific spot along that path.
So let's say I need to remember, I don't know, to buy milk, call my mom, and mail a letter.
Okay.
What would I do?
You might imagine a massive carton of milk exploding all over your front door. You have to swim through it.
Okay, I can see that.
Then in the hallway, maybe your mom is standing there holding a giant phone blocking your way. In the kitchen, the oven is just stuffed full of letters.
That is so vivid.
And when you need to retrieve the info, you don't think about the list. You just mentally walk through your house.
Oh, there's the milk at the door. Mom in the hall. Letters in the kitchen.
Exactly.
That is so wild, but I can see how it works. You're turning abstract tasks into a physical journey.
You're anchoring the volatile memory to a stable location.
Moving on to technique 4. This is for everyone who crams for an exam and then forgets everything the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Spaced repetition.
This is about beating the system. The system being your brain's natural tendency to delete data it deems useless.
The forgetting curve.
We call this the forgetting curve. Yeah.
So forgetting is normal. It's not a sign of a bad memory.
Completely normal. Your brain is efficient. It deletes unused files to save energy. To stop this, you have to review at very specific intervals to signal, hey, keep this file.
The source gives a golden schedule. I'm going to read this out because this is actionable gold for anyone studying right now.
Please do.
Review after 10 minutes, then again after 24 hours, then after 3 days, then 1 week, and finally after 1 month.
If you follow that schedule, you are reinforcing the neural path right at the moment it's about to fade.
You're catching it before it disappears.
It pushes the memory from short-term to long-term storage efficiently. You aren't studying more, you are studying smarter. You are hacking the biology of the brain.
I love that. It's about timing, not just effort. And that brings us to the final technique, number 5, which the source describes as the strongest technique.
Active recall.
Active recall.
This is the one that hurts a little, which is why it works. It distinguishes between rereading, which is passive and easy, and trying to remember, which is active and hard.
The example given is reading a lesson, closing the book, and then forcing yourself to write down what you remember.
And that moment of struggle where you're frowning and trying to pull the information out, that is where the magic happens.
That's what workout.
That is the workout, even if you make mistakes. In fact, the source says the struggle and the error actually strengthen the learning process more than getting it right immediately.
So we need to embrace the struggle. That's really reassuring. Now, we've covered the mental techniques.
Yeah.
But we cannot ignore the hardware.
No, you can't.
The source material spends a good chunk of time on lifestyle, the biological foundation.
You can't run high-performance software on a broken computer. The first pillar is sleep. And the expert in the source is very clear. Sleep is not just rest.
They called it a file transfer, right?
Precisely. During the day, your hippocampus collects information. It's a temporary holding zone.
Okay.
During sleep, your brain is busy moving information from that temporary memory to permanent memory, the cortex. If you don't sleep, that transfer doesn't happen.
It just gets deleted.
Lack of sleep literally equals slow understanding and a lack of focus. You cannot cheat sleep and expect an iron memory.
So pulling an all-nighter is actually the worst thing you can do for memory.
Absolute worst.
Next up is exercise, and specifically walking.
Yes, it doesn't have to be marathons, even 20 minutes of walking a day. It increases oxygen to the brain, reduces stress, and this is fascinating. It actually stimulates the growth of new nerve cells.
Really?
It's fertilizer for the brain.
And finally, nutrition and water. Kind of a no-brainer, but...
It is, but people forget. The brain is energy hungry. It uses 20% of the body's energy. It needs good fuel like omega-3s.
Right.
And hydration is critical. Even mild dehydration causes headaches and slows down processing speed. If you're thirsty, your brain is already slowing down.
Drink your water, folks. Now, before we wrap up, we have to talk about the bad guys. The enemies of memory. The source lists a few things that we need to avoid, like the plague.
The biggest one is stress. Chronic stress releases cortisol, which is actually toxic to the hippocampus, the memory center.
It's toxic.
It kills brain cells.
That is terrifying.
It is. We have to manage stress to protect our minds. Then you have multitasking. Multitasking scatters your attention, which ruins the encoding phase we talked about earlier.
Back to stage 1.
If you aren't focused, you aren't encoding.
And obviously, phones.
The ultimate attention thieves. And staying up late, which prevents that sleep-based file fixation.
The source also suggested a gym for the brain. 3 simple drills we can do to stay sharp.
Yes, these are great. First, the observation drill. Look at something, look away, and try to describe it in detail. This trains attention and encoding.
Drill number 2.
The numbers drill. Try to remember strings of number. Start small and build up. This boosts short-term memory speed.
And the third one.
Summarizing from memory. Read something, then summarize it without looking. This trains understanding and retrieval simultaneously.
It's amazing how simple these are, but how rarely we actually do them intentionally.
Consistency is key. Just like a physical gym, you have to show up.
So let's bring this all together. What does this all mean? The formula for an iron memory, according to our friends at English Easy Beyzi, is understanding
plus association
plus retrieval
plus lifestyle.
A perfect summary.
It really is. And I think the philosophical note they ended with is beautiful. They quoted Aristotle saying, "Memory is the scribe of the mental life." And Goethe, "What we understand well, we never forget."
And Plato, "Forgetfulness is the enemy of knowledge." It really elevates the conversation. This isn't just about remembering a grocery list. It's about honoring the knowledge you acquire.
It's about building a richer life.
It is. Now, to our listeners, we have walked through this incredible framework today, but all credit goes to the source. We want to ask you enthusiastically to go and support the English Busy channel.
Yes, please do. Their mission to make English and learning in general uncomplicated and fatigue-free is something we should all get behind.
It really is.
It's a noble goal.
So here is our call to action for you. Go subscribe to their channel, like their videos, leave a comment telling them the deep dive sent you, and share their content with your friends. It helps them achieve better results and keeps that amazing content coming. It's a small act that makes a huge difference for creators.
And it helps build a community of learners who are all trying to improve together.
Exactly. We hope this deep dive has given you the tools to build that iron memory and achieve those big dreams. Success to everyone out there.
Goodbye and happy learning.